Hello everyone, welcome to the Canadian Edge. Today we're going to be looking at a knife that I got almost a year ago. CRKT. It is called the Psych. Some of you may be familiar with this knife. It's an interesting one. I got it from a place called Warriors and Wonders. You can order online or you can go to the store and pick up. So yeah, it was a knife that I saw in the store and really liked it. Had to wait for a little while to get on a waiting list, and managed to pick one up. And I'm glad I did, because CRKT has discontinued this knife. It is no longer easily available. Apparently they didn't meet their performance standards. Not sure which part of it didn't, but anyway, it is an interesting knife and I really have enjoyed owning it. So let's get into it. It has a handle which has the black G10 on it, and then the stainless steel bolster is a 2CR13 SS stainless steel. And I just kind of like the look of it. It has kind of a coffin look to it. And as we get into the clip, which is also a stainless steel, you'll see that it has almost like a skull type face on it, which is one of the things that made it interesting for me. Probably the most interesting thing is that it is a glide lock, and CRKT has a few different kind of glide locks. This one, you have to press the button. It's kind of tricky, and slide up on the bolster. The blade does slide out, and you slide that back down, and there is your knife. So it has a blade length of 3.97 inches. Closed, it is 4.69 inches. And overall, it's 8.69 inches, which if you do the math, I guess they're considering the blade to be 4 inches. The weight is 4.90 ounces, and the blade thickness is 0.12 inches. So it's a nice thin blade. The blade is a 8CR14 Movi, which they say is similar to an AUS 8, a US 8. And so it's a decent steel. It holds an edge. It will need to be sharpened more than, say, a VG10 or that. But it is decent steel. And there we have Psych on the blade. You can see that. And here's a little closer look. We'll take a bit of a look at the locking mechanism. Again, you slide that up, and blade goes around. And let's see if I can get this so you can see it. So you see there's a little pin there that when you push down on the button, oh yeah, I'll get my finger in the way. The pin goes down and allows this bolster part to slide up and down. You can see there is a bit of a slot in the bolster, and that fits down. So that locks it in place. This is not an ambidextrous knife. Well, I suppose it could be if you learn to do it that way. I haven't learned to do it that way. It is plausible to open it one-handed. CRKT does say this is a EDC knife. I personally wouldn't probably use it as an EDC, because I like to be able to open my knives a little quicker than what I can open this. Somebody who's a little more adept could probably open this a little quicker. I love the shape of the blade. The blade is a spear point type blade. It is only sharpened on one side, the bottom side. The top side is not sharpened, so it's a false edge. And it does have the blood groove, which I think makes it look a lot nicer. It's got good texture on the grip. It is easy to hang on to. It looks like it would be a good fighting knife if you're ever needing a fighting knife. I personally just bought it because I liked the way it looked. You do get a good grip if you're holding it this way. You've got lots to purchase on, and then the little guards here, they give you good purchase as well if you're holding it that way. Sharpness. I haven't sharpened this thing. Let's take a look and see what it does. Well, it is sharp. You could cut a finger on it, but it's not what I would consider super sharp. No, I would run this actually through a sharpener if I was going to carry it all the time. Let's see how it does with some cord here. Well, it cuts through that easy enough. Let's try a couple pieces of cord. It does cut through that. And we got a bigger piece of cord. Okay, that one takes a little more effort, but it did cut through. So, yeah, it could use a sharpen. Again, I wouldn't run my finger on the edge, directly on the edge. It would probably cut. So it is comfortable in the hand. You do get a good grip. It is stiff opening and closing though. I generally do it with two hands, although like I say, you can manipulate it one-handed. But yeah, it's just a nice looking knife. It's got good weight, maybe slightly on the heavy side, but I mostly bought it, number one, because of the glide lock. I think that's a pretty cool system, and it works. The blade's not going anywhere, and the blade sits solid, and I liked the look of it. As far as in the pocket, if you were to carry it, let's check that out. We'll put it in the pocket and see how it does. Okay, so we're gonna put that in the pocket there. As you can see, it sits fairly deep in the pocket. If you put your hand in your pocket, you do notice it, especially the little guards there. You do notice those. But as far as going in and out of the pocket, it does go in and out very easily. So that is the knife. It was designed by Ken Steigerwalt, and if you can pick one up, I would suggest doing it. I don't know if they'll become collectible because they are discontinued. Again, I like it, just mostly the aesthetics. I think it's a really cool looking knife. As far as my rating system, I give the aesthetics a 10 because that's what attracted me to the knife. And opening and closing, I don't know, I debated between 7 and 8. I went with an 8, although it is a little stiff, and that's probably just because I haven't used it much. It, like I say, it isn't a knife I carry around with me a lot. It's more of a novelty knife. Pocket, it slides in and out of the pocket really easy. But you do notice, as I say, these little guards here. So I would give it a 9 in the pocket. Weight, 8 or 9. I went with a 9. It is a little heavier than what I normally would carry. And sharpness, well, I'm going to give that a 7. Because it does cut things, but it wouldn't hurt for me to run it through over my sharpening stone and put a little better edge on that. So overall, I give it a 9. It could be sharper, easier to open, and a little more comfortable in the pocket, but those things aside, it is a really, really unique knife. And again, CRKT calls it an EDC, or everyday carry. I personally wouldn't make it one of my everyday carry, as I like to be able to access my blade a little quicker than what I can with this. This would fall into my unique or maybe even gentleman's knife, because it is a nice looking knife. It would be, if you went out for dinner with friends and that, be a conversation piece. The pocket clip, of course, it doesn't go on the other side. It is strictly a right-hand carry, right-hand open, tip up carry. And you can see the blade fits fairly well down the middle. Got stainless steel in there as well. And so, yeah, it's a nice looking knife and an unusual looking knife. And if you can pick one up, I would urge you to do so. So that is the CRKT Psych. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a comment and like and subscribe the video. And we will see you with another knife. But until then, stay safe and stay sharp.